Chapter 6. And after a time, when men were increasing on the earth, and had daughters, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took wives for themselves from those who were pleasing to them. And the Lord said, My spirit will not be in man forever, for he is only flesh, so the days of his life will be 120 years. There were men of great strength and size on the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God had connection with the daughters of men, they gave birth to children. These were the great men of old days, the men of great name, and the Lord saw that the sin of man was great on the earth, and that all the thoughts of his heart were evil. And the Lord had sorrow because he had made man on the earth, and grief was in his heart. And the Lord said, I will take away man, whom I have made, from the face of the earth, even man and beast and that which goes on the earth and every bird of the air, for I have sorrow for having made them. But Noah had grace in the eyes of God. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was an upright man and without sin in his generation, he went in the ways of God. And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was evil in God's eyes and full of violent ways. And God, looking on the earth, saw that it was evil, for the way of all flesh had become evil on the earth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come, the earth is full of their violent doings, and now I will put an end to them with the earth. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood with rooms in it, and make it safe from the water inside and out. And this is the way you are to make it. It is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. You are to put a window in the ark, a cubit from the roof, and a door in the side of it, and you are to make it with the lower and second and third floors. For truly, I will send a great flow of waters over the earth, for the destruction from under the heaven of all flesh in which is the breath of life. Everything on the earth will come to an end. But with you I will make an agreement, and you will come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. And you will take with you into the ark 2 of every sort of living thing, and keep them safe with you. They will be male and female. 2 of every sort of bird and cattle and of every sort of living thing which goes on the earth will you take with you to keep them from destruction. And make a store of every sort of food for yourself and them. Chapter 7. And the Lord said to Noah, Take all your family and go into the ark, for you only in this generation have I seen to be upright. Of every clean beast you will take 7 males and 7 females, and of the beasts which are not clean, 2, the male and his female, and of the birds of the air, 7 males and 7 females, so that their seed may still be living on the face of the earth. For after 7 days I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, for the destruction of every living thing which I have made on the face of the earth. And Noah did everything which the Lord said he was to do. And Noah was 600 years old when the waters came flowing over all the earth. And Noah, with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives, went into the ark because of the flowing of the waters. Of clean beasts, and of beasts which are not clean, and of birds, and of everything which goes on the earth, in 2s, male and female, they went into the ark with Noah, as God had said. And after the 7 days, the waters came over all the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, all the fountains of the great deep came bursting through, and the windows of heaven were open, and rain came down on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On the same day Noah, with Shem, Ham, and Japheth, his sons, and his wife and his sons' wives, went into the ark, and with them, every sort of beast and cattle, and every sort of thing which goes on the earth, and every sort of bird. They went with Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh in which is the breath of life, male and female of all flesh went in, as God had said, and the ark was shut by the Lord. And for 40 days the waters were over all the earth, and the waters were increased so that the ark was lifted up high over the earth. And the waters overcame everything and were increased greatly on the earth, and the ark was resting on the face of the waters. And the waters overcame everything on the earth, and all the mountains under heaven were covered. The waters went 15 cubits higher, till all the mountains were covered. And destruction came on every living thing moving on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and everything which went on the earth, and every man. Everything on the dry land, in which was the breath of life, came to its end. Every living thing on the face of all the earth, man and cattle and things moving on the face of the earth, and birds of the air, came to destruction. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark, were kept from death. Chapter 8. And God kept Noah in mind, and all the living things and the cattle which were with him in the ark, and God sent a wind over the earth, and the waters went down. And the fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were shut, and the rain from heaven was stopped. And the waters went slowly back from the earth, and at the end of 150 days the waters were lower. And on the 17th day of the 7th month the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, and still the waters went on falling, till on the first day of the 10th month the tops of the mountains were seen. Then, after 40 days, through the open window of the ark which he had made, Noah sent out a raven, which went this way and that till the waters were gone from the earth. And he sent out a dove, to see if the waters had gone from the face of the earth. But the dove saw no resting place for her foot, and came back to the ark, for the waters were still over all the earth. And he put out his hand, and took her into the ark, and after waiting another 7 days, he sent the dove out again. And the dove came back at evening, and in her mouth was an olive leaf broken off, so Noah was certain that the waters had gone down on the earth. And after 7 days more, he sent the dove out again, but she did not come back to him. And in the 601st year, on the first day of the first month, the waters were dry on the earth, and Noah took the cover off the ark and saw that the face of the earth was dry. And on the 27th day of the second month the earth was dry. And God said to Noah, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives. Take out with you every living thing which is with you, birds and cattle and everything which goes on the earth, so that they may have offspring and be fertile and be increased on the earth." And Noah went out with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives, and every beast and bird and every living thing of every sort which goes on the earth, went out of the ark. And Noah made an altar to the Lord, and from every clean beast and bird he made burnt offerings on the altar. And when the sweet smell came up to the Lord, he said in his heart, "I will not again put a curse on the earth because of man, for the thoughts of man's heart are evil from his earliest days. Never again will I send destruction on all living things as I have done. While the earth goes on, seed time and the getting in of the grain, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, will not come to an end." Chapter 9. And God gave his blessing to Noah and his sons, and said, "Be fertile, and have increase, and make the earth full. And the fear of you will be strong in every beast of the earth and every bird of the air, everything which goes on the land, and all the fishes of the sea, are given into your hands. Every living and moving thing will be food for you. I give them all to you as before I gave you all green things. But flesh with the lifeblood in it you may not take for food. And for your blood, which is your life, will I take payment. From every beast I will take it, and from every man will I take payment for the blood of his brother man. Whoever takes a man's life, by man will his life be taken, because God made man in his image. And now, be fertile and have increase, have offspring on the earth and become great in number." And God said to Noah and to his sons, "Truly, I will make my agreement with you and with your seed after you, and with every living thing with you, all birds and cattle and every beast of the earth which comes out of the ark with you. And I will make my agreement with you, never again will all flesh be cut off by the waters, never again will the waters come over all the earth for its destruction." And God said, "This is the sign of the agreement which I make between me and you and every living thing with you. For all future generations, I will put my bow in the cloud and it will be for a sign of the agreement between me and the earth. And whenever I make a cloud come over the earth, the bow will be seen in the cloud, and I will keep in mind the agreement between me and you and every living thing. And never again will there be a great flow of waters causing destruction to all flesh. And the bow will be in the cloud, and looking on it, I will keep in mind the eternal agreement between God and every living thing on the earth." And God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the agreement which I have made between me and all flesh on the earth." And the sons of Noah who went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from them all the earth was peopled. In those days Noah became a farmer, and he made a vine garden. And he took of the wine of it and was overcome by drink, and he was uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father unclothed, and gave news of it to his two brothers outside. And Shem and Japheth took a robe, and putting it on their backs went in with their faces turned away, and put it over their father so that they might not see him unclothed. And, awaking from his wine, Noah saw what his youngest son had done to him, and he said, "Cursed be Canaan, Let him be a servant of servants to his brothers. And he said, Praise to the Lord, the God of Shem, let Canaan be his servant. May God make Japheth great, and let his living place be in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. And Noah went on living 350 years after the great flow of waters. All the years of his life were 950, and he came to his end. Chapter 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These are the sons which they had after the great flow of waters, the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshech and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Riphath and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, the Kittim and the Dadanim. From these came the nations of the sea lands, with their different families and languages. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Put and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba and Havel and Sabta and Raamah and Sapteka. And the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush was the father of Nimrod, who was the first of the great men of the earth. He was a very great bowman, so that there is a saying, like Nimrod, a very great bowman. And at the first, his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went out into Assyria, building Nineveh with its wide streets and Calah, and Rezon between Nineveh and Calah, which is a very great town. And Mizraim was the father of the Ludim and Anamim and Lahabim and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim and Casluhim and Captorim, from whom came the Philistines. And Canaan was the father of Zidon, who was his oldest son, and Heth, and the Jebusite and the Amorite and the Girgashite, and the Hivite and the Archite and the Sinite, and the Arvadite and the Zemarite and the Hamathite. After that the families of the Canaanites went far and wide in all directions, their country stretching from Zidon to Gaza, in the direction of Gerar, and to Lasha, in the direction of Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim. All these, with their different families, languages, lands, and nations, are the offspring of Ham. And Shem, the older brother of Japheth, the father of the children of Eber, had other sons in addition. These are the sons of Shem, Elam and Asher and Arpachshad and Lud and Aram. And the sons of Aram, Uz and Hu and Gether and Mash. And Arpachshad became the father of Shelah, and Shelah became the father of Eber. And Eber had two sons, the name of the one was Peleg, because in his time the peoples of the earth became separate, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan was the father of Almodad and Shalef and Hazarmaveth and Jerah and Hadoram and Duzel and Dekla and Obal and Abimael and Sheba and Ophir and Havilah and Jabab. All these were the sons of Joktan. And their country was from Asia, in the direction of Sephir, the mountain of the east. These, with their families and their languages and their lands and their nations, are the offspring of Shem. These are the families of the sons of Noah, in the order of their generations and their nations. From these came all the nations of the earth after the great flow of waters.